Hi friend, I want to do a title today, something important to me, something that happened today with the passing of Pope Francis. And most of you all know, because I'm not shy about anything on this platform, I talk about my Catholicism and growing up Catholic and my mother being devout Catholic, and I'm always vulnerable here. And so I feel like vulnerability is my superpower. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about something that doesn't always get celebrated, being vulnerable. So grab a snack and come on back. Hi friends. You know, I started off before the break saying I wanted to talk about something, and I really want to talk about vulnerability. Being vulnerable in a society where you're supposed to be strong and rigid and not empathetic and not anything. Well, you're never going to get that here from me. I am always vulnerable. You know, I cry, I show my emotions. I am very empathetic to everything that is going on around me, very empathetic. And we're taught, you know, to stay strong, keep it together, not let them see you cry. Well, and that's the, I failed that class. I failed that class. That's not for me. You know, that's not for me. The truth is that vulnerability, it's hard to say, that's like a tongue twister, but vulnerability saved me. You know, it saved me. You know, it was the moment that I stopped pretending to be okay and be that strong person and stop pretending to be okay that I actually started becoming okay. Once I stopped pretending to be okay, I started becoming okay. You know, it's funny how that works. It's funny how that works. You know, and I want to share why that's not a weakness, why vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a power. It's my fucking superpower. It's my power. You saw me, if you watched my live, if you watched the live, if you were on there, or if you watched the playback, if you were there from the very beginning, which I think only one person was with me in the beginning, and that was my beautiful Nancy. I was so vulnerable. The crying, the everything. I had to hold that in for the first part of the day because I was doing a live that I do every Monday with the beautiful spiritual Rain Francis, and that wasn't really the place for that. I had to get to my own platform to really let that out, to really feel comfortable and just let that vulnerability out. And, you know, I'm not afraid to show that side of myself at all. Not afraid at all. You know, and it goes back to different things, okay? There's so many levels. And I've said this, and everything I talk about has to do with me personally and what has gone on in my life. Like this current losing 115 plus pounds. You know, people always ask me, how did you do it? But no one ever asked me, why did I need to? Why did I feel like I needed to? They just said, oh, how did you do that? And, you know, the answer really to that is I had to do it because of the grief that I felt over the death of my mother and the loss, you know, and starting over at 60 years old. At 60 years old is when I decided that to hell with everything and everyone else. This is my fucking time. It's time for Lexi. And it's time for me to take my life back and stop all the bullshit and come on. Come on with it. You know, and be okay. I wasn't okay. You know, I wasn't okay. And, you know, I felt invisible at times. Because when you're fat, oh, everybody sees you, but you are so invisible, because yes, I know I'm big and I know you saw me, but did you see me though? No, you didn't see me. You didn't. You didn't give a damn about me or see me because all you saw was, she's fat. That's it. That's all you saw. I felt broken. I felt broken, when my mother passed, and I was grieving because I thought that I did something wrong, that I didn't know that she was sick, and I should have known these things, and I should have been able to heal her. I'm not a fucking doctor. How would I have known that? But I put that guilt on my shoulders myself. And so it just broke me. That broke me. I felt like my best days were behind me because I'm like, well, my mother's dead. I'm still fat. I'm grieving. What am I going to do? What am I going to do with myself? What am I going to do with my life? How am I going to turn this thing around? And how that happened was, when I stopped pretending to be strong all the time, like one of the comments that I got after my mother passed from somebody close to me, they're like, oh, Lex, you're so strong. I wasn't really fucking strong at all. But they didn't see me, so they didn't know that. They didn't really see me. They just saw fat Lex who was taking care of her mother, who lives with her mother and all of that. That at 57 years old, 56 years old, that's all they saw. They didn't see me. They didn't see what I was going through and what I was dealing with on the inside. They didn't see that. It was superficial because they didn't care. They didn't care about that. So they didn't see that at all. And when I stopped pretending to be strong all the time, I stopped it. I finally, said to myself, I'm hurting. I'm hurting. I need help. I don't know who I am anymore. I need help. I need assistance. And I got that assistance. I got the help that I needed. Vulnerability is not just about crying on camera. Yes, I do that here because this is my platform. And this is where I'm letting you all learn who Alexis Chantel Milner, aka all the freaking monikers. I got a new one this morning. We'll talk about that later. But who I really am. This is why I come here, to say who I am, to get my story out to the masses, to get the things that I know can help other people out. Because I've been there, done that, beloved. Been there, done it. Wrote the book, bought the t-shirt, all of it. Been there, done that. Read the book, wrote the book, whatever you want to say. I've been there, done that. Been there, done that. It's about saying that I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. We're not God. We're not perfect. We're not spirit. We're not that higher being. We're not that. We're not perfect. We are human beings with faults. Lots and lots of faults. We all have them. We all have them. And sometimes we live behind that veil. Everything looks so beautiful and so hunky-dory, and you really have it together, but you don't have shit together, beloved. You don't. You're wearing that mask, and you're operating behind that mask because you want everybody to see the perfect, like all the girly pops and all the stuff that pops off here on YouTube. Everything is perfect, and everything is this, and everything is that. That's bullshit. Nothing's perfect. Nothing is perfect. Nothing. They're all hiding behind a veil. There's some people close to me in my life that right now are hiding behind a fucking veil. But the truth is going to come out. It's going to come out. It always does. It always does. I've made mistakes, but I'm learning from those mistakes. I'm learning that I just can't sit here with a veil on and a mask on and just be this somebody and not be empathetic and not have feelings, not be vulnerable. That's not me, beloved. That has never been me. Even when I was trying to hide behind that, that's never been me. Never been me. Never, ever, ever been me. I have always worn my heart on my sleeve. I always have. But there was that one time where, the grief came in. I was trying to lose weight, and then I gained all the weight back during the pandemic, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? And just things were just spiraling. And like we say, we've made mistakes, we learn from them. It's showing up anyway. And that's what I've been doing, showing up anyway. Even if my voice is shaking and I'm trembling and I can't, I gotta get it out and I'm crying here. On the lives, if you go back and watch one of the, maybe it's the second or third live or whatever, where I just broke down. I just did. I had to get that out. I had to get that out. There's just, I just want to say to you that everything here for me, my 2 words for 2025 were consistency and authenticity, being my authentic fucking self. That's what you get here when you see Lexi. That's what you get here when you see Alexis Milner, Lexi, Sexy Lexi, Lex, all of the monikers, Luscious Lexi, whatever you want to call me. It's real. Yes, that's fine, and I love that. Those are all monikers that people have belovedly given to me, and I love that. But I'm still a real fucking human being with feelings. And just because I have these different monikers and Sexy Lexi and all that, that doesn't mean that I don't have feelings and that I can't come here and show you and tell you the real deal, baby. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. It doesn't get any realer or more authentic than this. It doesn't. It doesn't. We watch so many people here. We're connected to so many people here. We meet people. We become friends. We become soul sisters and brothers. We just soul family. We love each other. But do we really know the real person behind that veil? Do we really? Well, I can honestly say here that you all know me. What you see is what you definitely get. There's no phony, no pretend, no nothing here. I feel for you when you're going through something. I feel for you. And you all feel for me too. And I feel that. I feel that. As an empath, I feel that. I feel your energy. I feed off of that. I feed off of that. And I hope you know that. I hope you know that. The moment that I stopped looking like I had it all together in my life, this is before YouTube, that I had it all together, was the moment that I realized, I found strength in the community. And that's when I came here, is when I really found strength in the community around me, of the people here that have embraced me, that will be with me for the rest of my days. Pope Francis passed away this morning, 7:35 a.m. I got that news. I didn't know the time. When I was on the live, my beautiful dear friend Alvin, who lives in Rome, I asked him, to tell me, how was it there? He said it was so sad. It was so sad there. The masses, beautiful Nancy sent me and sent us, she put it in the chat, the Easter vigil yesterday, the Easter service, and he was there. All those masses, all those people just screaming out. I got to the part where, before I had to really come over here and film, because my day is getting away from me, but I got up until he was in the Pope Mobile and they were going through the crowds, and somebody handed something to them for him, and somebody put the baby over for him to touch the baby. And that's miraculous, because those people are the last people to have his essence and to see him. He did his last day's work yesterday. God called him to a higher power. He did his last job, because even though he was sickly, in a wheelchair, couldn't walk anymore, couldn't do anything on his own anymore because of his lung capacity, his breathing, his heart, everything that was going on with him, he still went out there yesterday. Yes, there were other people. There were cardinals, monsignors, priests, everybody who were helping him and surrounding him to bring us this Easter Mass. But he was still there, pushing through. His last breaths he used unselfishly, unconditionally, for the people, for his people. He used that yesterday. Yesterday, that was just amazing. That I look at that and it just, oh my God, it's just amazing, amazing. You know, I asked Alvin and he says, yes, he passed at 7:35 this morning. He did his last work, And I couldn't let that go without me getting on here and speaking about the vulnerability and being vulnerable. I couldn't let that go. I had to come on here and speak about that. I had to. He inspired me to speak about that today. I just had to do it. You know, in the moment that I shared my truth here about my weight loss, about going through menopause, trying to lose weight at 60, having a hysterectomy, you know, the aging process, people started to relate to me. You all relate to me. You know what I'm saying. We're all people here, most of us of a certain age. You know what I'm saying. I would never come here and tell you anything wrong. I'm giving you the full-blown story, 100,000 fucking % true of what I have experienced, what I've dealt with, what I've gone through in my life. Those things make me who I am. They give me character, and that is the vulnerability that I share here with you. You know, we don't connect over polished, you know, perfect things. You know, we don't connect over perfection. We connect over what, beloved? Honesty. We connect over honesty. And when somebody comes through here and they're shooting the bullshit and the lies and the stories, there's somebody here on my platform who I follow, they follow me or whatever, and it's always a lie and a bullshit. It's always some contrived fucking story for views and shit. Stop it. Why? Why are you lying about how you did this and how you found that and how you da when I know damn well that's not the truth, because I know you and we talk about things and I know that's not the fucking truth. But why are you doing that? I don't give a damn about likes, subscriptions or anything, because I know what's going to happen for me is going to happen. I'm here to share my real fucking story here on this platform. I know that when things are ready to pop off for me, oh, they get ready to pop off. I've had so many readings that have told me that I'm headed in the right direction. I'm doing something different that nobody else is doing in this space. I'm being my real fucking self, because everybody here is phony and everybody here is on their own plane of trying to, you know, oh, yeah, I want you to like me. I look so perfect. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm here for a reason. Like I said, I'm here. Yes, do I want to be monetized? Hell yeah. Of course I want that. But I want that on my own terms. On my own terms. By you seeing me be vulnerable here and being like, this lady, she's a real one. She has something to say. Because yes, I fucking do have a lot to say. I have a lot to say. And I'm not here trying to sell you a 6 for a 9. I'm not. I'm just selling you me. That's all I have to give you is myself. The true, authentic Alexis Milner in this space. And yappy. I mean, if you're new here, this is the first time you're watching. My name is Alexis, like I said several times already in this video. I have several monikers. They'll be up here or here, somewhere here on the screen or here. Because there's so many. And the list is growing. I got a new one this morning and it's so cute. The list is growing. And this is the beautiful Yappy who, Yappy was all pink yesterday. I don't know if you all noticed in the Easter video. And I was live yesterday with a show that I'm involved in with the beautiful soul whisperer, Althea Grace, and the beautiful Nancy, a Crohn's Intuition. The Dalai Lama of YouTube is Nancy, baby. Get with Nancy. Get with Nancy. We want to get Nancy to over 1,000. She's got 900 and change right now. Her name is down below, Nancy, a Crohn's Intuition. Follow Nancy. Nancy is a queen. That's all I can say. Nancy is a queen. I bow down to Nancy. Nancy's a queen. Nancy is all that. And a bag of chips, and more chips. She is. Nancy is a real, genuine soul. And there are so many genuine souls here, like my beautiful sister from another Mr. Selena. The most generous essence of the moon, most generous, kind-hearted, beautiful soul you ever want to know. And the rest of my soul sisters here. They all know who they are. We all talk on a regular basis. I'm not going to go through the whole list of everybody. They know who they are. But, you know, it's the realness, the rawness, the authenticity is what has drawn these people to me. They're not here because I'm phony and I'm nothing. They're here because they love the genuine me. And I'm telling my full story here. Yes. I come on here and I'm a boo-hooing, crying, snot coming out my nose this morning. I mean, yes. Because I can't keep my feelings all bottled up and inside and to make you feel good. I'm not going to do that. If you don't resonate with me or anything here, then this is not the place for you. And bye, beloved. I love you, but you can go. You're not going to make or break me. I'm not going to be upset by it. At all. You know, every time I share something, you know, that once made me feel a certain way, maybe feel ashamed or anything, you know, like you all didn't know me before I had my teeth all fixed and beautiful. And everybody always says, Lexi has that $1 million smile. Yes, because I took care of myself. I took care of myself. That was something that was important to me. So I had to fix that. And I had to fix other things about me to get me to where I am here at 60 3/4, because in less than 4 months, I will be 61 years old. Yes. Yes. And I'm so grateful to where I have come from and where I'm going, because we're going someplace. We're on a trajectory here. We are going, and we are going fast. We are going fast. You know, someone else says to me, every time I share, you know, maybe I felt ashamed of something, somebody says, me too. Me too. And that's how we build bridges here. Me too. How many live streams and videos that I've been on and talking to my sisters here, and it's like, me too. Me too. You're not alone. We're in this together. Me too. I've dealt with all the bullshit. Yes. That's what vulnerability does. It brings you closer to people because people know that they're not alone. Like, wow, she went through that too, and she's here doing this, talking on YouTube? Yes. And you could do it too. It's not going to break us. Being vulnerable is gonna make us. It's not going to break us. It's going to make us. It's going to make us. It's how we grow. Building bridges together is how we grow. It's how we grow here. You know, so you're watching this, you know, if you're watching this and you've been trying to stay strong for everyone else, you need to put that shit to rest. You need to stop that. You need to stop that. You know, I'm going to give you permission to be soft. I'm going to give you the permission. You see me. I just cried in this video. I mean, come on. You know, come on. Be yourself. It doesn't matter if somebody doesn't understand what you're going through. Fuck them. Because they don't have the bandwidth to get with you and to be empathetic and say, I'm so sorry what you're going through. You know, I'm so sorry. Those are not your fucking people. They're not. And those people, they haven't done the work inside themselves. Those people are very selfish. Very selfish. You don't need those people in your life. Surround yourself with beautiful, like-minded individuals like myself. Because I've been there, beloved, and I'm doing the work. I've done the work. And I'm going to read something to you in a minute, too. But I've done the work. I've done the work. to be open. I'm giving you that permission. Be open here. Be vulnerable. Look at my girl Hilda, Nova Scotia's Black Indian Stories. She comes on this platform. She's vulnerable. She speaks her mind. She tells her stories. She cries. She's talking. She's everything. That is being vulnerable. And when you have people in your life who support you, like the soul sisters and her actual sister who support her, she knows that she could just come out here and do it and don't doubt yourself. And that's what we do here. We build each other up to get to that point. None of us have it all figured out. None of us have this thing called life. None of us have it figured out. None of us do. But we move one foot in front of the other every single day to get us to that next point, to get us to that next plane. We have to be honest with ourselves. Being honest with yourself is a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. Because then people begin to see you. Honesty, vulnerability, those might be my words for 2026. There's so many words I want for 2026 already. I'm already thinking. But those two things, being honest, being vulnerable, that's your superpower, baby. You stand in the mirror, do your Supergirl, Superwoman pose in the mirror and stand there and say, yes, I'm being my true motherfucking authentic self. That's what I say every day. I look in the mirror every day and say, you got this, girl. I love you and you got this. Because I know that I do. I know that I do. I'm a strong bitch. Yes, but I'm also very vulnerable. I'm very sensitive. I'm very empathetic to others and others' energies. And I feel those emotions. And when I'm emotional, I have to let that out here. I have to let it out. I'm not going to stuff it back down inside to make you feel better. I'm not going to do that. If you don't like it, the crying, the vulnerability, my language, anything here, this is an adult space and you don't have to be here. But this is me, raw, honest, unfucking filtered Lexi. That's it. That's it. That's it. The Pope was always showing his true self, washing the feet of the people, the vulnerable people, the people in prison, the downtrodden, the homeless. Those are the people he cared about. He cared about the LGBTQ plus TIAI, whatever it is, community. He cared about this community. I'm not a part of that community, but I love that community. And my daughter is a part of that community. And I love this community of people because they want to be loved too. And they love back. And they have their faith. They believe in God. A lot of them are Catholic. We just can say, oh, well, you can't do that. No, this is 2025 and I could do anything I damn well please. And when people come to me, there are some people in my life, I've mentioned them on this channel before, who are like, oh, that's an abomination. Said fucking who? You? An abomination for somebody to feel the way that they feel? How could that be an abomination? You love who you love. You connect with who you connect with. I never understood those kind of people in my life. I never have understood that. Never. And I think I don't know if I talked about my uncle here. I had a beautiful uncle, Uncle Alan. He was gorgeous. I don't have a picture of him to put up because I can't really find those right now. I'm still in the decluttering phase of trying to find things. My mother loved him to pieces. My Uncle Alan, back in that day, in the day, he was called a transvestite. My Uncle Alan was so gorgeous and beautiful, and he was never apologetic. He was unapologetic about his self, as he should have been. And in that time was even worse than it is today. It seems like we're going backwards for some reason. Everybody today should be accepted. I don't care if you're blue, yellow, green, red, what freaking bathroom you use. Who gives a damn? Who has a right to tell you that you're an abomination? How dare they? And I love Pope Francis because he came in and he said, you're a child of God and you love God, then we love you. Who are we to judge you? Who am I to judge you? Right? Who are we to judge anybody here? Yeah, you may dislike stuff, but why do you? You need to sit in with yourself and be like, why do I dislike that person or whatever? What has that person done to you? Not a damn thing. That's just like with the color of our skin and the people who don't like me because I'm black, a black educated woman, who they say, oh, she speaks white because I'm educated and I'm articulate, which I hate that word. What gives you the right to freaking judge me? You couldn't live a freaking 1.5 seconds in my shoes. Absolutely not. I'll give you $1 million if you could, because you can't do it. I don't have $1 million and you can't do it. We are all unique. We have all broken that mold. We are all unique beings. So why should any of us be the same? And why should we judge anybody else? We should not. We all broke the mold when we came here. We are a unique human being. There's nobody like us in this world. Yeah, there may be a doppelganger, somebody who may look like you, sound like you or something, but there's no other you. You are you, as Dr. Seuss says. You are truer than true. You are you. There's nobody else like you. Nobody else like you, beloved. So why would you judge somebody else? Their path is their path, and that's their fucking business. That's not your business. It's not your business. I know we're going off on a tangent here because I'm fired up about this subject. I am fired up about this subject. And before we end this out, I wanted to read something to you. And this is from the Shadow Work Journal and Guide for Beginners. And I found something in here just by chance, doing the work to film this video today. And I'm like, I happened to look through this book and it says, vulnerability is your superpower. I didn't even know that before I started doing this video. Vulnerability is your superpower. Brene Brown, who I love, one of my soul sisters here also loves Brene Brown. If you're not familiar with her, her name is spelled, and I'll put it here, B-R-E-N-E apostrophe Brown. She is one of Oprah's disciples, I would call her. You know, she's been on tour with Oprah when Oprah used to do her live shows, and she has so many videos, and you'll see a lot of things on this platform for Brene Brown. And she says that vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. Yes, and change. Being able to be vulnerable is the ultimate act of courage and the only way you can accomplish your wildest dreams. You can't accomplish your dreams here just being, you know, stuffed in, looking with a mask on. Who's going to fucking believe that and believe you? How are you going to get from point A to point B not being yourself? How is that going to happen? How is that supposed to happen? Despite this, it is one of the most difficult things for us to do because the ego doesn't like the way vulnerability feels. And that's it in a nutshell. Those three little letters, E-G-O, ego. Ego is what really, really fucks up a lot of people with their egos, not wanting to be vulnerable, not caring about somebody else's feelings, not opening up their own feelings, their own selves. It makes you look really ugly, beloved. It makes you look ugly, and you need to check that and do the shadow work. You need to do the shadow work. But when you avoid vulnerability, you can't show up to the world as your authentic self. When you avoid it, oh, I'm not going to cry, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that. And then you're going to come around and you're going to be so boring for one thing, so one monochromatic for one thing, but you're doing a disservice to yourself. How are you keeping all this stuff bottled up inside? Your throat chakras are not working. Your heart chakras, that's definitely not working. Your solar plexus, none of that is working. None of it is working because you're not being your authentic self. You're trying to be like what I said the other day. You're trying to live like the Joneses, but you're not trying to be yourself. You're not trying. You need to be you. Like I said, like Dr. Seuss says, you are you. There's nobody else who is truer than true than you. You broke the mold, beloved. You broke the mold. You know, but you can't show up for yourself authentically. It's not good. You know, it's just not good. So you've got to do that work. You know, you've got to do that work. I mean, how do you view vulnerability? As a strength or a weakness? And why? Ask yourself that question. I view it as my strength. It's my superpower. It's my superpower. Yes. Yes. You know, who do you trust enough to be vulnerable with and why? Ask yourself that. I trust myself to be vulnerable with myself, with me. I trust myself, and this is the book I was using. I trust myself to be vulnerable with myself. And I trust my tribe here, my high vibe tribe, my soul sisters and brothers here. I trust you. And I trust the people in my real life too. A lot of them aren't here because a lot of them, they can't get with that. They can't get with Lexi being real. You know, Lexi has never been phony. That's one thing I have never, that is something that is one of my pet peeves, somebody phony and fake. I have never been phony and fake, and you will never find that. Even when I couldn't really, I was vulnerable, but I didn't, you know, I had to learn how to get everything out of me, how to get it out. Being strong because I didn't want people to really see me, but I wasn't being phony in the way you know, it's like, it's a weird mix. I would never be around anybody phony. I mean, if I was going to let it out, it was coming out. It's definitely coming out. And you all have seen it here several times. You can go through all my videos and see me crying probably in almost every single video here. Because I have feelings and I have empathy. I'm an empath. I have feelings. I feel different energies. And when something happens like the Pope, do I know the Pope personally? No, I don't. But I loved Pope Francis. And the passing of him, knowing of all the things that he's dealt with and all the things that he's tried to do for us in this Catholic Church, it just made me break down this morning. One of my mother's dearest, beautiful friends, Oyoko, beautiful Oyoko, I love her so much. She called me today. You know, we cried together. She called me because she knows how I felt about Pope Francis. She knew, and she held space for me, and she just made me feel amazing. She held that space for me, that she took the time to call me this morning and hold that space for me because she knew how I would be feeling today, and we just cried together. She won a lottery to go see Pope Francis when he came here to the United States. She went to DC. She bought the t-shirt and sent it to me. I wish I could find it here. It's around here somewhere. I've got to find it. But she bought the t-shirt, and she knew how much that meant to me. She knew how much that meant to me. That day I was online, I was on Facebook, I was doing a lot of things. I wasn't on this platform yet. And I was like, God, I'm transported, I'm there. And one of my people said, oh, Lexi, I didn't know you were going to see the Pope. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to see the Pope, but I'm watching this, and I am transported there where he was, with the masses there and just the beautiful services and everything. The people who just adored him so, because he was doing the work. He was doing that work. And he did that work up until he took his last breath this morning on Easter Monday. He went out there yesterday knowing that he could barely breathe. He couldn't walk or anything, but he wanted to be out there and see the people, feel the people, breathe the people, and give his message. And he did that. It was his last work. And God said, yes, yes, my child, you did your job. You did your job well. And it's time for you to come home and do the work, the spiritual work that you're going to do. The spiritual work, yes, that he's going to do, that he's still doing for us. The spiritual work that he's still doing, which just warms my heart. I just love. I'm just love. I love you all so much, you know that. I see you. I love you. And I'm so proud of you, friend. I'm so proud of you for giving me this time, for holding space for me, and letting me be my vulnerable self. I don't have my tear cloth yet, and these are not sad tears. These are not sad tears, but this is a cloth that belonged to my mother. It's a napkin, and it came from the Virgin Islands, an embroidered napkin. So I'm using this, a cloth napkin, to put my tears in, because these are going to be happy tears, because I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you hold space for me and you allow me to come here as my authentic self, that you allow me this space. So, Yappy and Lexi out. Just remember, Monday ain't done nothing to nobody. And it's a sad day, but it's also a happy day, because now the real work is going to be done. Pope Francis is gone. He's gone to his higher power. And everything is going to just trickle down. It's going to trickle down. Because everybody is thinking today and in reflection and everything of all the good works and things that he has put in place. And I pray that when the conclave gets together, that they will choose a successor to him who will be just as dynamic and amazing, and who will bring us all together, despite our differences, despite how we identify in this world, that will bring us together. That is my hope, and that is my prayer. So, on that note, I love you so much. I was going to pull some cards today, but I'm not really feeling that today. The message on my Louise Hay calendar today for Monday, April 21st, it's April 21st. It's a squirrel, which we have a million of these over here. This is squirrel country. And it says, before I go to sleep, I express deep gratitude for my life. I take that sense of contentment with me into my dreams, which I do. I am so grateful for my life, and I'm grateful for you all on this platform. I love you so much. And like I said before, and I will just continue to say over and over again, you have changed my motherfucking life. You've changed my life. And I love you so much. Thank you. And I thank Divine Spirit for guiding me through this video. I thank you, Spirit. Thank you so much that I was able to get this out, because this was important to me. I had to do this today. This was not planned for today, but after the events of this morning, I had to do it today, and it's perfect timing to end this. It is getting ready to be 1:11 in about 20 seconds, so I love you. Make a wish at 1:11, say a prayer, and just remember, as always, love you plenty.